All right, so I just want to preface something before going into this video. My good buddy Mitch lent me his GT3RS, obviously, which is why you clicked on this video. We had a few technical issues throughout the day. Quite literally half of the stuff we recorded had all of the camera settings burned into the footage. All of the rolling shots have this on it. I'm just gonna put them in anyway. I don't care at this point. Another thing is I wasn't using these mics, which have, I think it's 32-bit float. So essentially when the audio spikes, you can fix it. I was using my old mics and a lot of the audio spiked because the car was so friggin' loud. So this definitely isn't one of my better videos, even though it was with my dream car. It is what it is. You can't win them all. Shit happens. But yeah, I figured I'd preface that and let's get into it. Good?
Yeah.
That clap erased everything from my brain. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my God, it's so loud. Good morning. Whew, I'm sweating already. This thing is nuts. So we're just headed to the first location in the 3RS. All right, so this car has a JCR exhaust on it, which is absurdly loud. Like, it's essentially straight piped, if you haven't been able to tell yet. I have to be very careful because it's one of those cars that if we get pulled over, it will instantly get a VI. We're gonna try and save that headache today. While we're in town, I'm gonna be very easy. Like, I'm in 7th gear right now. So anyway, today we're just gonna go do a little bitty review. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now because it's still early. I've only had 1 cup of coffee and it's just been a bit of a chaotic morning getting everything set up. I can feel the vibration of the sound on the steering wheel when I drive. We'll go over some specs and stats in a little bit here. First things first, I'm just gonna get used to the car. It's been about a year since I've driven one of these. I mean, it's a Porsche. They're super easy and intuitive to drive. So it's not a hard car to drive, it's just a lot of car, especially when it sounds like this. Very tight steering. It's so loud. And like, it's a good loud too. Like, this car, you really have to get up to like 9,000 RPM to really appreciate this engine. And it's kind of hard to do on the streets. Like, it's not my car. I'm not going to be a complete idiot with it as much as I may like to. And I know the owner would actually tell me to go ham with it, but we're going to ease into it over the course of the day. If I've ever had a conversation with you, you've probably heard me bring this car up. It's my absolute dream car. And although it's so fucking loud, it is so loud. Although I prefer the 991.2, this was my first love because in 2016 when this car first came out, I absolutely fell in love with it. And it's been 8 years and I still can't get enough of this car. I will buy one day. This is the first one we've been able to review. So huge thank you to Mitch. You're the fucking man. Thank you for letting me take this and trust me with this car. Oh, it sounds so good. So I'm not one to say a car is too loud, but I think if you were to daily drive this car, it's too loud. But I absolutely love it. Like, this sounds like an RSR race car. I'm so excited to just be able to take it out and go for a cruise in it. This car has some cool features on it. Let me show you. So, because these cars were designed and built for Nürburgring lap times, the weight was a big deal. They wanted to make sure it was as lightweight as possible, but also good enough for a street car. So there's a few things they did. First of all, this lip right here, this plastic lip. If you don't option your car with a front lift system, this can get pretty scuffed up pretty quick. So what they did is made this, there's only 6 clips on it, or something like that, and you can remove it and it's $100 for a new one from Porsche. Something else they did to save weight was the badges. Front badge and the GT3RS badge on the back are actually stickers to save weight, which is ridiculous, but obviously it worked. The hood is made of carbon fiber. Some ASMR. They've got some Boston wheels on there. I think they match the car perfect. I mean, obviously they're black and it matches the black accents on the car. So he did a really good job with that. Some people like a bunch of spokes, some people like 5 spokes. Obviously the owner prefers 5 spokes. This, I believe, is optioned with steel brakes, even though they sound like carbon ceramics. I think he just might need new pads on them, but they stop great, so it is what it is. Another thing is the roof is magnesium. So if you were to flip it, you have an instant convertible. As soon as that hits the concrete, it will be gone, but it's light, so that doesn't matter. And then around the back here, so this is something I would do if I owned one of these. These are the wing tips from a 991.2 GT3RS, which is a 2019. This is a 16. So the ones on the 16 were a little more bland. They were just like almost square. These ones, obviously, they have a little bit more twang to them, you know what I mean? And then obviously the exhaust is just ridiculous. And this does have wing risers as well. I'm pretty sure they're Salter Aero because I've never seen another company that makes them. One other thing I want to show you is the amazing engine bay in this car. If there's one thing they got right, it's how immaculate this is. Not really. This is all you get. That's the engine. Obviously the engine's under here. You got 2 fans and then you got some coolant and some oil, and that's it. That's all they give you. I assume they just don't want people working on these cars, so they don't let you. Anyway, now let's go drive it and see what it's actually like.
Time I did, I pay my dues affiliated to this paper. I need freedom for my family now. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping up just an unfamiliar coordinates. I've dropped the porch like I can touch the sky. Man, it's not one trend, that bitch that is. I'm talking the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I can change the time.
It has nice daily things. Like it does have an exhaust button, which doesn't do anything when your car is straight pipe, so that doesn't really do anything. But it has a front lift system, which is super handy. It's an optional extra. They don't all come with that, but if you're gonna buy one of these cars, I mean, I don't think you can buy them from the factory anymore, but it's the best call to actually spec it. Like you have to spec it with a front lift, otherwise you're gonna scrape your whole lip up. Some other nice things. The infotainment system is super easy to use. We're gonna do the phone connection test in a bit too, just to show kind of how it is connecting. It's not that difficult at all. So it has rear axle steering, which is super handy, especially in tight spots. That's another great, oh my God. I'm trying to keep it as quiet as I can, except fuck these road bikers. Turn a lot tighter, not that it's a big car, it is a 911, so they're obviously a little bigger than the Cayman platform with the GT4 or a Boxster or something like that. But it doesn't feel big, like it's super nimble. German engineers, man, they know what they're doing. We're gonna try and hear 9,000 right now. Okay, we'll go over some specs here, some power specs and all that fun stuff. So it's got a 4-liter flat 6, pushing out about 500 horsepower at 8,250 RPM, but the last 750 RPM all the way up to 9,000. It's prime RPM real estate there. So 7-speed PDK gearbox, super quick shifting, like it's instant. 3,153 pounds, fairly lightweight car. I mean, you get the magnesium roof, carbon fiber hood, you got the like the plexiglass style rear windows, just all to save weight. Obviously the emblems on the front and the back, stickers, so a lot of weight savings. It's rear wheel drive. It gets 15 miles to the gallon. And if I'm being honest with you, the whole miles per gallon thing, I've never understood. I don't, we're in Canada, so I don't know how many liters that is. but it's not terrible on fuel. Obviously, it's like anything, depending on how you drive it, is gonna really dictate how the fuel mileage is. So, you know, there's that. So obviously this is option with the roll cage. Something that's funny too, the owner literally has headphones in here because it's so loud. And if he drives from Vancouver back to Kelowna or wherever he drives, long trips require headphones in this car. And it's got these carbon buckets, which are amazing. These are the race car seats. Like, you stick to this like it's nobody's business. Oh, the turning is so good. The handling on this car. It is a race car for the street, so. Just plug in her ears and shit. I'm trying to make it quiet. Like, I don't like road bikers, but I also don't want to blow their eardrums out. Unless they're in the middle of the road, then I think it's okay to just run them over. I work at a supercar dealership and I've driven pretty much every car you can think of at this point, but I keep coming back to this. It's my absolute favorite car. And I don't know what it is about it. This car just speaks to me. Oh my God, it's so good. Ever since I fell in love with cars, this car has just been the one. This is the one that I've always come back to and just known as the best car that's ever been made. Hey, it's the sexiest car in my opinion. Just the lines of this car, the curves, the fact that it's like a race car for the street. It's also practical daily. Like, when you have a normal exhaust on this car, it's got cup holders. I mean, they're not great cup holders, but they're there. And let's say if you're really thirsty, you just did a really long hike, like that craving, like primal need for water. That's how I feel about this car. I need one of these cars. And everything is just so simply laid out. Alcantara steering wheel. This one's a little worn out, but it's still in pretty good shape for being a 2016. Car's got 21,000 kilometers on it, so it's pretty good. And then another thing that they did to cut weight was these little, tiny little cloth door handles, literally to save weight, everywhere. It's insane. Oh, those whips downshift. Oh, sounds so good. Comes alive at like 8,000 and over. Like, it's insane how it just keeps pulling at the top end. After 7,000 RPM, it pulls harder than it does lower RPM. All right, so now we're gonna play the game of how hard is it to connect your phone to a race car. Turn on the accessory. So now we go to phone. Bluetooth function must be activated. DJI RS3 Pro, we don't wanna connect to that. Bluetooth settings, new device. There we go. Searching. Hands-free, there we go. Timmy's iPhone. All right, connect, cell phone max, delete a device. Sorry, Mitch, if this is the wrong phone to delete. Timmy's iPhone, connecting Timmy's iPhone, pair on my phone. Pairing unsuccessful, nice. Try that again. Connecting, fuck's sake, it's not working. Please select device. I selected my device. Now it says connecting to Timmy's iPhone. Confirmation may be required on my phone. Pairing unsuccessful. Well, this is fucked. Usually it's easier than this. Confirmation on phone may be required. I don't know what the hell's happening, but we can't get it to connect. It's not working, so we're gonna launch this thing. Maybe that'll fix it. Yeah, well, overall, this car is a 9 out of 10. In my opinion, I really would like the exhaust button to work because it's just too loud for residential driving. Oh! I want to talk for a second about why I love this car so much. So for me, driving has always been an escape. Whenever I was in a shitty mood or I just needed to clear my mind, I would go for a drive. When I was a kid, I would not sleep. My dad would take me for a drive and I would instantly fall asleep. I've always, ever since I was a baby, I found it very relaxing. Ever since this car first came out, there was something about it I was drawn to. I absolutely love this car. And for me, it's like the epitome of freedom. Like, you get in this car, you can go wherever you want. I mean, obviously without the roll cage, you can fit luggage in here, you can go on road trips. It's a comfortable drive. This one doesn't have comfort mode. It's an RS, which stands for Ren Sport, by the way. This was always like the end goal. Like, this was always the car that I wanted to work towards. The fact that I'm able to drive one, like just take one out for the day and review it. We're just wrapping up now. It's about 1 o'clock. We've been at it for a few hours and I don't want to have the car out all day. You know, I don't want to take advantage of having access to the car. So it's obviously not my car, and the fact that it's as loud as it is, I really didn't want to piss off a bunch of people today and get the cops called on us and just deal with that whole headache. So today was more of just like a calm drive rather than actually like going for a rip, which we'll do eventually, trust me. Overall, this is an incredible car. 9 out of 10 for sure. I'm not saying I don't love it, but my God, is it ever loud. But overall, I've driven every car you can think of, and I have driven these before, and to this day, it's still my favorite car ever. I think it's, like, I'm 6'3", I fit comfortably, I still got lots of headroom. It drives amazing, it's a head turner, it handles unbelievable. All Porsches handle amazing, but this one is just, it's another level, man. Like, it is insane how good this car performs. And I wasn't even on it. Like, we didn't really push it today at all. I just want to give a huge shout out to Mitch. Thank you, man, for letting me take this car for the day. And if you guys aren't following him, I'll put his Instagram in the description. If you want to see this car in action, go check him out. He beats the living hell out of this car. If you guys like this, let me know what you want to see more of. Let me know what car you want me to review next, because we will be doing more of these. And yeah, like this video, subscribe. These videos are only going to get better as time goes on and we have more time with the cars to shoot them. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next one.